Welcome back to Movies at 2 a.m., the show where we discuss B movies, bad movies, low-budget movies, box office bombs, critical disappointments, and all manner of obscure film. I'm Bryce Huffman.
I'm Irving Thomas.
We're once again joined by our buddy Parker.
Pooh. That's my boy, Pooh.
You're my boy, Pooh.
Oh, wow.
And today we got a really funny movie for you. We're talking about the 1994 comedy Blankman.
Blankman. I wish I could remember he has his own theme song. It's great.
Yes. So, Irving, briefly describe what is Blankman.
Are we doing our synopsis, or do you want me to describe what Blankman is?
We'll do the synopsis in a bit.
Okay. Blankman is a story about a super genius. Essentially, he is the broke Section 8 version of Batman. He's Batman if he didn't have resources.
Yeah, or white privilege.
Or Iron Man, if he didn't have,
Or hoes.
Or
No.
He's got one lady interest, but Batman and Iron Man had hoes.
Points are being made. But basically, it's a story, coming age story. He learns how to be a hero after his grandmother tragically dies or is killed by the Italian mafia. I actually don't even know if they're the mafia. I just know they're Italian.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't think they get a real, they're an organized crime regime of some sort.
Yeah.
That's all we know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen this movie, it's been out since 94, so get on it. It's on Amazon Prime, right?
Yes, it is on Amazon Prime, and I also believe it's on Tubi.
Yeah, I'm about to say, there's a couple of viewing options for this.
Unlike the Meteor Man.
Unlike Meteor Man, you don't have to pay $70 to watch Blankman. So the IMDb synopsis is: a simpleton inventor becomes a superhero with a bulletproof costume and a low budget. And that's actually pretty damn succinct.
Yes. Do you want to do your synopsis for our verses?
Yeah. As we've been doing since towards the end of last season, me and Irving go toe-to-toe with our synopsis battle.
He washed me in the last episode. Damn, this coat is hot.
All right, so mine is: Damon Wayans and David Alan Grier do their best to both pay homage to and make fun of the 1960s Batman show. They ask us to imagine, what if Batman was broke, socially awkward, and an inventor who has to fight a mob boss and premature ejaculation? Blankman.
I cannot beat you today, man. Oh, man. These last two episodes, you've been going crazy. Those are phenomenal.
The champ is here.
I need to get back in the lab. I had something very simple. I had Section 8 superheroes fight the Italian mafia and find that's all I had.
Hey man, I'll take my win. This movie was directed by Mike Binder. I don't know exactly how he pronounces it.
Mm-hmm.
I had only seen a few of his movies before, but he's mostly known as an actor, producer, writer. He's directed for TV, written a lot for TV. But yeah, this is the thing that I knew him. The thing that I when I look at all his stuff, this is the thing that I knew most. Everything else was stuff that I had heard of but not really watched. And then Damon Wayans actually wrote the movie. Him and
He's
J.F.
a producer
Lawton.
as well, yeah.
Yeah, and produced it. Damon Wayans, David Alan Grier are the stars. Robin Givens is in this movie. Jason Alexander is in this movie.
He's in his bag. He's elite. He gives an elite performance in this.
Yeah,
he plays a handicapped man. He's basically Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man, but he's obsessed with Blankman and stuff.
Yeah, and then John Polito plays the mob boss Manelli.
Michael Manelli.
Yeah. So, man, tell me, man, what was this movie's box office receipts? What was the budget?
Hey, let me tell you something. It's not looking good for a lot of the movies that we're covering.
How bad are we talking for this one?
Okay.
I just looked at
the budget.
The
budget is $30 million, and it made 7.9.
Jesus fucking Christ.
But understandably so. And I love this movie. I really do love this movie. I've seen it well over 6 times. One of my best friends, before I went off to college, his parents were like, yeah, you can go through our DVD. This is before streaming, of course. We were all still using DVDs. And they're like, yeah, you can take whatever DVDs you want. And I definitely took Blankman and would watch it like freshman, sophomore year of college. But this movie, when you really kind of, look back, like take a step back and look at it, I can understand why it lost this much money in the box office. I can.
Yeah, it's
great, but if you're not into, and Parker, I really want you to talk about this because you've seen it. We used to watch it as well growing up in high school and college. It's interesting, like the way that he's portraying, Damon Wayans is portraying a nerd in Blankman, or in his name is Daryl in the movie. It's just like you can't really tell if like there's something going on with him. Like he moves like an ostrich. He like just talks really weird. He wears these glasses, but his glasses are always crooked.
Yeah,
they're like
one of the
fit to his face crookedly. And the frames are forks. Like it just he has a sidekick robot, J5. Like there are just so many like different elements to this that are just like, this is so out there, outrageous. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And if you don't like, I don't like calling any of these films bad because I really enjoy them. But like from
campy.
This goes beyond campy, bro. Stop it.
Okay, but like level of campy, like
this is like Camp Rock 10.
Where does this movie rank between the camp of like Batman and Robin, like the Joel Schumacher one? Is this higher on that scale? Lower?
This might be higher.
This is higher
for sure. It's like an 8.
I don't know, man, because that movie has puns every few minutes, as where this movie has a few puns, but it's mostly like, I don't know, the campiness. I don't know if I'd put it on that level.
The campiness in this movie works for me.
Yeah,
like this is like Irvin said.
I'll promote your ass so high, you'll be shitting off the moon.
Hold up. When we get to best lines, you got to do the one from Manelli in the bank. You got it.
This movie,
you got to read it. You got to read that one.
This movie is quality, bro. It's really. I mean, I don't even know where to start with this. Let's talk best scenes, like your favorite scenes. Like, do you kind of want to just go through the timeline of what actually happens? Because his grandma dying is how he becomes his mother, not his mother, but like it's
a superhero origin story.
Yeah,
right.
It's his origin story. Could we get a Blankman 2? Is that what
this movie?
Is that what we're rooting for?
Lost $23 million. I don't think so.
We could put this out on Tubi, bro.
No. This movie lost $28 million damn near when you look at like how much they put to market the movie.
We could put this out on Tubi.
I mean,
Blankman,
I don't know if that's on us to put it out on Tubi.
Damon Wayans, if you're listening, Keenan Ivory Wayans, we are calling out to you. Put us in the writer's room. Let's make it happen.
Yeah,
Blankman 2.
I would love to work with you, David Allen Grier.
Blankman 2 in the year 2023 with us, right? I think would be
the worst thing to happen to
I think it would be a
humanity.
No, I think it would be a cult classic. I'm not gonna lie. I think we would really be able to create what Blankman was, especially at that time, make it modern, but then keep that same level of campiness. And like, I think it would succeed personally.
Parker believes in us. I love that.
I appreciate that.
I believe in Blankman. I'm actually kind of happy that I can speak on.
I thought you were going to point to Bryce, because I was like, you shouldn't believe in the ideas I have going on in my head right now for Blankman 2.
We'll talk about that later.
We can talk about it now.
So I think my favorite part of the movie, like when I think of just some of the great scenes in this movie, eventually Blankman is like known throughout Chicago for saving people and stuff. He goes on like a date with Robin Givens' character, who's like a reporter.
She's a reporter. She works at the same paper, I guess.
Yeah, like the same newsroom
as Kevin, played by David Allen Grier. Oh my goodness, who is Blankman's brother.
Yeah. And
shout out to Michigan State as well. He's wearing a Michigan part of David Allen Grier. He becomes, what was his name? Was it Karate Man? No, that's just what I put in my notes. But
yeah, I don't
he's
remember
a
what the actual name
sidekick,
was.
doesn't have any powers, but he's wearing a Michigan State shirt as part of his costume.
Yeah,
just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. So when they go on their first date, his like the Blankmobile just rolls on like the subway track.
Oh yeah.
It is so goofy. I love it. And whoever's idea it was to shoot that scene, you deserve all the applause.
He's really like the Dollar General Batman, bro. It's honestly insane.
Other random things I have in my notes. The robot J5 wears a Detroit cap.
It does. He does. I very vividly remember that.
Yeah.
David Allen Grier said, we got to show out for the D.
Yeah, apparently. When he got kissed on the date, he nutted on himself.
Oh, we're going there.
Oh yeah, we're just deep diving into some of my favorite stuff of the movie.
We're going there.
This movie has a lot of, and you could probably guess from Damon Wayans' sketch comedy career that like a lot of the scenes in this movie feel almost like just small sketches that they threw into the movie because they were like, this shit is hilarious, and it is. And one of those is when they got Tony Cox to pretend to be a superhero, and Tony Cox, as we all know, is a vertically challenged person. He's not very tall.
Yeah.
And when he picks
him
up
falling is actually one of the funniest
the
things.
part that always gets me is like they warn him about picking up the chair, and he's like in this superhero costume, like, watch out for the chair, watch out, and he picks it up and just falls over. It's so funny.
And for all of you who don't know, I guess what would be a point of reference? Friday?
Yeah, it's probably like that or Bad Santa are like the most famous things he's in.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And if
Yeah.
the short, yeah. Real funny guy.
Why do you do that with your hand? I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. Showcase the site.
I'm kidding. Are we going into best?
Yeah. Your favorite scene. Just shout them out.
Favorite scenes. When Blankman finally comes up with his costume and wants to like test out fighting crime. He comes up with a formula. So he's a super genius, right? He comes up with a formula to make his suit fireproof and bulletproof, and knife proof, correct?
Yeah. Like it breaks the knife that he tries to stab into it.
Which is insane. Because what is that? So he goes into a random alley where there's a pimp. like messing with one of his hoes, I guess, and he tries to stop him. He's like, hey, and he's like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, hey, stop doing that. And he's like, don't interrupt me. I'm gonna smack you around like one of my hoes. And then he calls him Susan. He starts smacking him, and Damon Wayans is hilarious. He starts screaming like
oh my God.
I guess like one of the hoes. He's like,
It's so funny.
But it's so ridiculous. There's so many moments in this movie that bring me so much joy.
The Arsenio Hall gag.
The Arsenio Hall gag is hilarious. If you want to describe that, and I have a bunch.
Yeah, so
down.
like we said, at a certain point, Blankman is like well known. Like people know who he is. People cheer him on. And Arsenio Hall was like, man, someone told me that there was a black guy in a cape in a cop car, and then he's like, and when I heard that, I thought, oh no, James Brown's in trouble again. R.I.P. James Brown.
For sure.
R.I.P. But yeah, man, it's if you like Batman 66 and super campy comic book stories and superhero stories, like this is literally made for you. It is so funny, very very corny, but like very intentionally corny.
Can we talk about his gadgets as well?
Oh yeah.
He has stink bombs made from his brother's flatulence that he collects while he's sleeping.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that part.
He has electric nunchucks.
They like spin automatically.
Oh, okay. I was like, is there a karate class outside?
Oh yeah, in the studio there's like a martial arts class I think going on, and we can like hear it.
Okay, who are you taking in a fight? Oh, okay. Oh, my bad. Oh, okay. Who are you taking in a fight? Blankman or that karate class outside the studio?
Blankman.
I definitely Blankman.
You're taking Blankman?
Yeah.
Got electric nunchucks and a suit that can't be stabbed.
Yeah, like he's winning that fight.
Okay.
Oh, did you mean like who would we fight against?
Yes.
Oh, the karate class.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like
You wouldn't fight
they sound
against
like children. would feel much better about that than a nigga with a bulletproof suit.
Yeah,
And a robot with all these gadgets and stuff.
Yeah, but J5 fell down like 3 flights of steps.
And he still stopped the bomb.
But he did.
But he exploded.
But he saved the day.
Yeah.
He sacrificed it. It's like if R2-D2 sacrificed himself.
Hasn't R2-D2 sacrificed himself?
I mean, he hasn't died, so no.
Yeah, not like technically speaking.
Yeah.
He's done some heroic stuff, but
Good,
Yeah.
touche. He also has... Blankman also has like this plunger... How would you describe it?
It's like a grappling hook.
It's like
but
a
with a
grappling
plunger.
hook, but with a plunger, which
The
doesn't make it...
scene with the pregnant lady in the elevator.
And this is where he gets his name.
Yeah.
Oh, please talk about that.
Yeah,
Please
so
talk
there's
about that.
one of the first things he does when he like gets his costume and all of his stuff together is he goes around saving people, and one of the people he saves is this pregnant woman who's trapped in an elevator giving birth. So him and his brother go in, they scream a lot, the baby is born, and then as they open up the elevator, she's saved. They're like, "Well, what do I call you?" And he had not figured out his name yet. He was still testing it. And then they're like, "Is something wrong?" And then his brother's like, "Oh, he's just drawing Blankman." So then they call him Blankman after that.
I don't actually remember that being the word.
But
I forgot that that's how he got his name.
Oh, that's so fucking funny.
But we also skipped a step because after one of his, I don't know if it's in the alley or one of his first times fighting crime, he tries to report to the police.
Oh my goodness! Yes,
and he's trying to explain like, "Hey, you need to come help. Like, there's like crime over here." Like,
but he's in
help.
costume.
But he's in his costume.
Isn't his costume just some like pajamas, like with the
Yeah.
ass part
Yes.
hanging out?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So they're like cracking up, like, "Who is this clown? Like, what are you doing?" And they're like, "What's your name?" Like making fun of him. He's like, "Actually, I'm still testing it out. I just started. I was thinking, brother, man."
Yeah, man. This movie is great. If there's any like negative to me about it, and this is like me being Roger Ebert level nitpicky, I would say some of the scenes are bloated and they could have just been cut shorter.
I agree with that.
The movie would have been a lot shorter, but that's the one thing I would have done. Or I would have, like, this movie's really at its best when it's spoofing Batman 66. I wish there was just, like, more of it earlier in the movie, but it's also, like, it's an origin story.
I love how the action scenes are shot. They're shot exactly like
yeah, like,
old
they're shot
Batman.
with, like, the comic, language coming out and stuff.
Pow and bang. And
Yeah, like, all the onomatopoeias and stuff. Yeah, like, you can tell, like, they really did love that show.
Bryce, how many people know what an onomatopoeia is? I haven't heard that word in so long. And like, I don't know
Oh,
what it
my
is.
bad.
I just had to break it up.
It's a word that
Don't
just
worry.
sounds
Don't-
like the thing that it is, like smack, bam, pow.
Don't worry, he's actually Meteor Man. He's been off that meteor rock. You didn't see it, but I've been watching him closely during
I
this
have a
episode.
textbook, and every
Yeah, he has
30
a
seconds
dictionary.
I
He has a
touch it.
dictionary. He has a dictionary. and it's like
That makes sense. I'm like, this motherfucker bringing out this big ass word.
My bad.
he said, "Onomatopoeia." It's so hot in this coat.
So Irving is wearing a coat because we decided for the video content of the episode that if we're recording multiple episodes
Gotta
on the
switch
same
up the
day,
face.
we got to switch up our clothes so people don't know it's the same day. And his solution was, I'm just going to put my coat on.
It's so warm right now. This
Boy,
is
you about to
hilarious.
get heat stroke.
Oh, this is hilarious. I'm definitely.
Evan's going to see this episode and be so mad that I let you stay in this coat the whole time.
I mean,
1000%.
it's not letting because we wouldn't be able to like not get him to
Hey man, I'm not about to let y'all take my coat off for me.
Exactly. See, it's
Stand your ground.
All right. So, awards, man. Who you got for best performance?
Who do I have for best performance?
Yeah. There's some strong candidates in this one.
I would say Damon Wayans because I wouldn't have been able to stay in character. We talked about this. The blooper reel for this is probably very extensive. And I don't know, he's just playing like a nerdy, like really quirky character. Like even him pretending to like prematurely ejaculate is like just doing that is so silly. Like I can't even imagine like doing that on camera.
Yeah, like so a lot of you have seen the short film that we shot, and I broke character literally every single scene. Like every scene I'm in, I start laughing.
I wouldn't
at some
say every
point.
scene. A lot of them, though.
Like, think of how many takes it took us to do like very simple things, and then imagine us trying to pretend to be Blankman prematurely ejaculating.
That
Like,
would never got made.
exactly.
It
And this is why I said you guys were so confident about Blankman too. I'm like,
I mean, I think we could write Blankman 2. I don't think we could be in Blankman
I
2.
didn't say yeah. Like I don't know.
you guys wouldn't want to be in Blankman too.
I would.
I'd be a cameo somewhere. Like, I'd be in the background as an extra or something. But anything that requires me to have lines and say them while looking at a 60-year-old Damon Wayans in Blankman's costume, nah, it's not happening. It's
I
not
could be the
happening.
fifth supporting actor in that movie. The fifth specifically.
That's such a vivid image you just put into my head. That's insane.
And by then he has like J10.
J7.
So did you ask me my favorite lines? I'm sorry.
I didn't yet, but
Oh.
I asked best performance, and you said Damon Wayans.
Yeah, I think of
also
Damon
want
Wayans.
to. I
What
want to
about
say
you?
John Polito was Minnelli.
Yeah, he
I
did it.
had both of them because it's just like they were doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. What are some of your favorite moments?
So my favorite line, either when Daryl goes "slap me around and call me Susan," or the first person he saves is this old woman on the subway who's getting robbed. And
Oh my God.
And he like fights the people off, and the woman is really thankful.
No,
And
he
then she
throws
looks-
him off. He throws him off the subway, and then he pulls out a knife and like looks at him, and then holds the knife to the window.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then when the woman is safe, she thanks him, and then she goes, "The rest of you ain't shit."
Oh my god.
Shout out to that woman.
She said it with such vigor. I'm like, I want to find who this woman. I couldn't find who she was in the IMDb page, but if you find her, someone watching or listening to this episode, feel free to hit us up.
So what else? What else? Keep them coming.
Those are my favorite lines that I wrote down because I saw that you had so many written down. I wanted to let you go wild with them.
Oh, amazing. So my first line I have written down is at the beginning of the film, showing Blankman, Daryl, and Kevin as kids, and their mom is watching them, and it shows like the background of them loving Batman and like of Daryl being a genius. He's creating all these different like mechanisms and machines and all types of crazy stuff.
Also, shout out to Damon Wayans Jr. playing young Kevin.
Yeah, no, legend. I'm a huge Damon Wayans Jr. fan. But they're like just pretty much little rascals, rugrats running around the house, like doing shit, fucking stuff up. And their mom is like, "I'm gonna peel the skin off your behind, boil it, and make soup." And I was like, I've never heard that one. That's a bar.
Yeah. Some of the bars that they have in this movie are things that like people just don't say.
There is a scene, one of my favorite scenes, and it has also my favorite line, one of my favorite lines as well, is when they have all these like ass backwards gadgets that Daryl is creating. Like he has, of course, you're like if you have a sidekick or a brother, you're gonna give him like a pager, like some form of communication, a walkie-talkie.
But his comes out of his belt.
His belt buckle.
Yeah.
So he's like hitting up his brother Kevin. Blankman is hitting up his brother Kevin at work, who works for a newsroom.
Right.
And Bryce spoke to this already, but Kevin is trying to get on Robert Givens' character because they work
Robin
at the,
Givens.
I mean Robin Givens' character. Because they work in the same newsroom, and she's finally starting to kind of give him a chance and gives her his number, or
Gives
him her number. Sorry, I'm ass backwards today. It's because this coat
It's
is
the heat
hot.
stroke.
Yeah, it's because my brain is shutting down. And she walks away, and then Blankman pages Kevin through his belt. And he's like, "I can't play with you right now." So he's like leaning down,
looking at his belt buckle.
Looking at his belt buckle. It kind of looks like he's looking at his dick.
He's like, "I have to work. I can't play right now.
I can't play right now. Wait, just give me like 10 minutes. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and then we can play or do whatever." And she comes back in and looks at him and takes her number back from the paper she wrote down. But then afterwards, Kevin is like, yeah, dude, you're losing your mind to Daryl. Like, we're going to go see, like, I don't know, is it a psychiatrist or a doctor? And he's trying to show him, like, the doctor, like, my brother, because he became a superhero because their mother passed. Like, their mother got killed by the Italian mafia.
Their grandma.
Oh, yeah, the grandma got killed. And he's like, all right, so he isn't a jackass and is like, yeah, I'm not going to let anybody know I'm Blankman. So he goes to the doctor and, like, just pretends to be completely oblivious. Like, when it's just Kevin and Daryl, he's always talking about, oh, yeah, we're going to fight crime. We're going to do this. I'm working on these new gadgets and shit like this. But around other people, he's like, look, he's crazy. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm just tripping. So he talks about him talking to his... he talks about what happened with his belt buckle in front of the doctor. And the doctor's like, there seems like there's something wrong with you. He's like, I wasn't talking to my jammy. And he's talking about...
So the doctor was played by the director, Mike Binder.
Really?
Binder. Yep.
Oh, sweet. So I wasn't talking to my Jimmy. That was very long-winded to say.
That was one of your favorite lines?
That's one of my favorite lines.
Parker, is there any lines that, like, you vividly remember that you wanted to shout out?
Why don't you shoot him in the head is a bar as well.
It's the way that they said it that made me laugh.
Why don't
you shoot him in the head?
head?
Yeah, why don't you shoot him in the head?
I can't remember anything off the top of my head. I haven't seen this movie in years. I did just look it up. It is on Tubi, actually. Mm-hmm. So, great piece of information, everybody. Blankman is on Tubi. I'm going to go watch that probably today.
I described his gadgets as ghetto gadgets.
They are ghetto gadgets.
That's exactly what they are.
I don't have a line per se, but I think the first time I watched this with Irving, watching Blankman get beat up by the homeless dude and him screaming. I don't know. That as a teenager was some of the funniest shit in the world because, like, David Wayans just exaggerated those screams so much. He really sounded like a hoe getting slapped around. Excuse me, I know that's not good, but
that's what the dude in the alley said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slap you like one of my bitches or one of my hoes.
He slapped me around and called me Susan.
Oh man.
I want to call out
another line before I forget because I didn't write it down. Anyone can rob a bank. It takes a real man to do it wearing satin.
That's a bar. That is a bar.
That is a bar.
R.I.P. John Polito, because that was amazing.
Legendary. That satin fit was sweet as well.
Yeah.
He was doing crime in style like that.
What drinking game would you play for this movie?
That's actually really hard. That's really hard. I would say anytime Jason Alexander's character in the newsroom, because he's the head of the newsroom, assigns Kevin a bullshit story. That would be a really good one.
Off the top of my head, I think anytime Blankman introduces any of his new gadgets,
throughout the whole that would be a great one.
Yeah, that'd be a dangerous. You'd be really drunk really fast.
That'd be a very dangerous game.
I had every time David Alan Grier would have been written up for sexual harassment in the workplace.
That would have been a lot. That would have been a lot.
There's like a stretch of the movie where it's just like him hitting on Robin Givens at work, and it's just like, man, the 90s was a different time.
He was on his Cosby.
You not getting away with that stuff nowadays.
HR instantly.
He was on his Cosby flow.
Yeah,
he must have just watched Meteor Man.
It all comes back to Cosby.
Every single time, unfortunately.
I'm just saying.
Additional flowers you wanted to give?
I want to give flowers to the grandma. I can't. Was it their grandma or their mom? I thought it was their mom.
No, it's Grandma Walker.
Oh, Grandma.
Lynn Thigpen is the actress.
To their grandma, because I told Bryce this yesterday. And I got to take my hood off slightly to kind of say this. She reminds me, and Parker, I need you to go back to confirm this or tell me I'm tripping. I'm probably tripping. She reminds me of, like, you know how, like, on Uncle Ben's rice, they got Uncle Ben. On, like, syrup, they got Aunt Jemima. She kind of looks like one of those characters in the movie and talks like it. Like, she could be, like, a character for some molasses or, like, some grits or something.
Funny enough.
Like, consumer packaged goods.
It's so funny enough. Quick thing. I was watching Life last night.
Great.
Yes,
do we have that on the list for this season? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Add it if you need to. But just watching it and kind of sitting back and looking at how like older black folks looked and the way they talked with the cadences and stuff.
That stress was different.
It was a lot different, but like a lot of the way they talked with, especially like the comedy and shit, was just way, I don't know, it was different. It had a certain charm to it. And so you was talking about Shorty being on the Aunt Jemima or the Aunt Ben's, Uncle Ben's, both kind of like southern rooted things, and like life was based in the South when they were in prison, at least. I definitely see that. You're not tripping with that, actually. That's a pretty good correlation. So,
when he said it, when we were watching it, I was just like, "You mean she looks like an older black lady?"
Yes.
Like,
that's it. It's simply, yes. In plain terms, that's what Irving was trying to say. Yes. She looks like somebody's grandma who was from Mississippi or something, and yes.
Yeah. R.I.P. Lick Thin Pig.
Shout out to you.
Pen. Yeah. Good. I mean, she was being snarky when they were getting robbed. And I was like, oh man, she's going to be like the fun, snarky grandma character.
That's what got her killed.
Yeah, I'm about to say, my man's came back and was like, regards of Mike Minnelli, and blasted the place up.
And in regards to how she dies, I also put in my notes she died for John Kerry, which I was like, dang.
Yo, the mayor in this movie, now I got to get the actors. I just had it up too. Christopher Lawford plays the mayor, Marvin Harris, and he looks like John Kerry, like,
you know. And I was just looking at the same thing my own self, and people don't know who John Kerry is probably in this day. Well,
he unsuccessfully ran for president.
Was that the 04 president?
Yeah.
Okay.
He looks
exactly like him.
He looks like John Kerry, but he also looks like dude from Boys to Men, in whiteface.
What the fuck?
I swear. Hold on.
Irving's brain works different, bro.
Yeah, no,
it really does.
The listeners, it's
this man his brain works different.
Boy, that looked like Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah, so those are my addition of. Oh, and then the costuming department, because his costume just looks so goofy.
It's the worst superhero costume I've ever seen.
He almost looks like because he's bald. Damon Wayans is. He almost looks like a Ninja Turtle.
So the green sash, I always thought of like Michelangelo or something.
Yeah,
Ninja Turtles, watching that shit.
Yeah.
No, he looks like a Ninja Turtle. I wrote in my notes that I think he needs. I wish he had a seamstress or like a tailor. Same could be said for Meteor Man, but somehow
his mom was his seamstress.
But his costume, some of those early costumes she was coming up with were awful. Yeah. So I was really comparing. Well, it wasn't even really a comparison. Blankman, because they were in Section 8 housing, those costumes just weren't it. Like, just a Michigan State T-shirt? Like, you fighting crime, go green?
It wasn't a fedora.
Michigan State strong.
Oh, he did have a fedora. Oh, my God.
Was that a fedora?
Yes. No. He had a fedora. He had a fedora.
Oh, okay.
He had a fedora on. I put that in my notes, too.
Yeah.
I just want to tell all of our listeners out there, I hate fedoras.
At least I hate fedoras.
I'm very passionate about my hate.
I hate fedoras.
All right,
there's a room full of fedora haters. Like, I can't stand them.
I know people that can pull them off or whatever, but I don't.
My dad wears fedoras, but like, it pains me when I see people like our age wearing fedoras. Because I'm like, we're not there yet. Like my vision is getting worse. Like I just got glasses. Everyone who's watching the video. Oh, see, you guys are way clearer now. My parents were like,
I can clearly see how black you guys are.
I can. Black and proud. Yeah, no, I hate fedoras. Don't wear them. Don't wear them until you're 40, 45, unless you're a Cuban man.
If you're Cuban or Dominican, then go ahead. You're fine.
Yeah, I can't do anything about that. Poppy.
That's y'all.
Hey, man.
We got so off track.
Can I just give one last award? Shout out J5. J5 is
J5 deserves an award.
The other, I guess, award that I would have to do is just like the whole production team in general. Blankman didn't do well at the box office. It doesn't do well with.
You're actually not even you're not even stating it how you really should. Not doing well is an understatement.
Yeah, this movie is a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes
because we didn't even do the reviews.
No,
that's how bad it was. That's how bad.
We can segue into that. Regardless, I truly do think that Blankman is a cult classic comedy that most people, if you sat there and watched it,
still probably won't like it.
It's hard to. I think it would be hard to not enjoy this. This shit is just that silly, and it's good at being silly. It's not
I feel like I know a lot of
silly.
people that would be like, I hate this movie.
People too fucking.
Yeah,
uptight.
niggas is haters.
Yeah,
that's
bro.
okay.
I mean, we haters, but like,
who's we?
Oh, shut up, bitch.
The only thing, wowzer. The only thing I hate is fedoras. Everything else I love.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Well, I think we've covered it all for Blankman.
Yeah.
Should have.
This has been fun.
I got one for you. Are you guys drawing a blank man?
Corny ass nigga. Yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you can survive the corny jokes. And for Movies at 2 a.m., I'm Bryce.
I'm Irving. It's so hot in this coat.
Man, I appreciate you boys for bringing me on, man.
Man.
Of
course,
a
man.
couple of more.
Please come back.
Peace.